Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is War 6 of Season 41, and today I have Diablo and a synergy for him in Loki that makes his poisons passive and a bit more potent. And then I have Galan, and I'll be going up path 3 in section 1, taking that witch, and then 8 in section 2, taking Apoc, Sersi, and then onto the Gorr on Boss Island. So starting off with the witch, using Diablo here, she's on the node where if she gets an armor up buff, you power burn. So if she ever gets an armor up buff on this node, I'll just have to slow play or hope that I have a special ready. My neutralize does help to stop her getting any buffs, but obviously it's only a percentage chance for it to proc in the first place. So if something sneaks through, I'll just have to react to it. So starting off, this first combo triggers a ton of her Veil of Fortune, and MD kind of gives her a few specials. There's a bit of a lag spike at the start of that first one, so just kind of not the best start. Here, I just want to let her build up a ton of flourish buffs by hitting my block. It does make her do more damage, but it means I can do this, throw my L1, nullify all of them. I've got MD5, and it gets me right to SB3. Now I'm just letting my neutralize fall off, letting her dash in, tap me on block a couple times. She only does it once, and then I react to her heavy by throwing my L3. The second bit was probably unnecessary. I didn't really need to let her have any more buffs. I wasn't sure how much damage my SB3 would do in the first place, and it turns out, as you can see, it does a hell of a lot of damage. And then just throwing an L1 to let her tick out, maybe regen a little bit back, but I think I only get one tick of regen before the fight's over. So moving on to this next section, I am taking Apoc with Galan. I probably could have done it with Diablo, but Galan was assigned, and I use Galan a bit more than Diablo anyway, so I figured may as well stick with the champ you know a little bit more. I'm just about to apply an invuln boost because my plan going into this fight was to stop him getting too many buffs. I didn't want to start with a parry or anything. Looking back, it's a bit unnecessary, but I decided to go for an intercept at the start or beta heavy without holding block, just to sort of stop him getting too many buffs. But in the end, my neutralize sometimes falls off mid-special and he starts getting flourish buffs that way. So this start's pretty unnecessary. We get a heavy and we go back in, start building my mass. I can, when I'm dealing with his SP1s, I can dex the first, parry the next, and dex out of the last, but it's a bit of an unnecessary risk. This is my only fight with Galan, and he's pretty tanky in general, so what I'm going to do is block the first 2 hits and then dex out of the last one. The node here is fairly inconsequential, so it doesn't really matter if he gets too many buffs. I think it just makes him immune to nullify or fate seal or something along those lines. But I'm going to activate my harvest now, try and build up as much as I can during this, and then go for the kill shot. If I'd done a couple more combos, this probably would have killed, but as it is, it leaves him at 8%. Means I don't need to go for another harvest. I can just combo him down and get one more parry in, and then go for the final combo. And that fight's down. Pretty smooth. Next for this Sersi, I'm going to go back to a power start 1. It's a very similar match to the Scarlet Witch one. I'm going to try and get to my L3 and throw it. Going into this fight, I was thinking I'd be a little bit safer this time though, because Sersi's buffs can be a little bit more impactful than Scarlet Witch's could be there. So my plan is just to throw L1 pretty soon in the match, get a neutralize up, and then get to L3 a little bit slower. But as you are going to see, that doesn't quite work out the way I was planning. It works out a little bit better. The reason that I'm doing that is actually because of Rich Get Richer. I don't want to get into a situation where she gets to an L2 and destroys me, so I figured I'd play a little bit slower and a little bit safer. So going into the fight now, as I said, the plan is just to get my L1 off right away. I parry, do a medium, and it actually triggers her glancing and some transmutations, so it gives me a bunch of power right at the start of the match, which just speeds it up a little. Here I'm going to bait a heavy because she's got the neutralize on her, so she can't activate her glancing. Bait out this L1, and then I'm at my L3. Throw off a heavy for a couple poisons, throw my L3, and we're in a very good position in this fight now. Coming out of it, I'm not going to have too much power, but I should be able to get back to an L1 pretty quickly and pause if needed. But as you can see, it just chunks her down very quickly. Take the L1 on block just to be safe. There's no reason to try and dex it at this point. The fight's over, and that finishes it off. So my last fight today is this Gorr on the safeguard and unblockable when they have a regen node. Diablo shuts this down very, very easily. It's a very similar playstyle to the matches that we've done in the past with him. I'm just going to be letting him get a ton of buffs, throw my L1, get to L3, pause/refresh. Gorr has so many buffs here that it just becomes a very, very simple fight as long as you play it well and don't get caught. Starts off with a lot of buffs, and we get almost to the L3 right away. What I want to do now is let him throw off an L1 without a neutralize, which gives him a ton of buffs, and that means that I can go in and throw my L3. He has a lot of buffs to nullify from the L3, and I'll be right back at 2 or more bars of power, meaning I can refresh them right away, and as planned, I can refresh now and just finish out this fight. He takes down very, very quickly. If I wasn't boosted as highly, or if it didn't have the synergy that increased my potency, I'd just be pausing them a little bit more, trying to get to my L2 and refresh. But he's down within, a minute. So a very, very safe fight. And yeah, Diablo is OP. He's very, very good with this tactic. At this point, we were on for a donut, so that's why I was boosting so highly. We'd already won the war pretty much at that point. I think it was 7-2. And that's actually how it ended up. So our BG did get a donut, and so did BG1. So we were doing very, very well at the moment. 2 deaths as an alliance is fantastic. And that puts us on 3-3 this season. So we are well on the way to turning what was a tough schedule at the start of the season around, and hopefully we can carry on through the second half of the season. But I will catch you in the next war video, and thank you very much for watching. Cheers.